Hey there, geeks and geekettes. I'm your host, the Bearded Geek, and this is my Hulkverines review. Okay, so Mass Movement were kind enough to give me this graphic novel to review on their behalf. It was amongst a few books that I'll be reviewing for Mass Movement. I'll leave a link for Mass Movement down there. Go follow them. If you're into your sort of your punk rock or your anything geeky, Dungeons and Dragons, you'll find that this is your sort of thing. So out of the stack of books, this is the one I got excited for. I was an 80s kid, and in the 80s you'd have discussions in the playground with other kids about imagining what if this character had this character's powers, or you mix these two characters together. And Hulk and Wolverine, they would have been up there. I mean, the Hulk and Wolverine is a mashup. The Hulk's incredible and Wolverine is the best there is at what he does. Right up my street, this. So I think I was going to enjoy it anyway. It would have had to have been pretty bad for me not to enjoy it. So Hulkverines is written by Greg Pak, and the art is produced by Ario Anindito, and I'm going to say this wrong, but Guy Villanova. I'll probably spell them in the comments somewhere. And the initial comic book run was released on the 20th February 2019. So the official summary is: the clash you've been waiting for. At last, Weapon X takes on his predecessors, Wolverine and the Hulk. Not long ago, the Weapon X program sought to recreate two of Marvel Universe's deadliest warriors. They ended up with Clay, aka Weapon H, a soldier with adamantium claws and gamma-infused blood. But now Wolverine and the Hulk want a piece of the dangerous creation made in their name. Apparently, I've forgotten how to read today. This is good. They're not the only threats coming for Clay. Weapon H's maker, Dr. Alba, is about to meet one of Hulk's greatest foes, the Leader, and the result will transform not only the course of Clay's life, but also the lives of Wolverine and the Hulk. As Marvel's greatest titans rampage out of control, it's up to Clay to put a stop to them. Prepare for the fight of the century. How cool does that sound? So, what's it like? I've really dropped off with Marvel the last few years. I was trying to sort of read X-Men, and you had to buy X-Factor, X-Force, Excalibur to follow a run. And it sort of, I stopped buying comic books because of it, and then decided to go for self-contained graphic novels instead. So outside of The Walking Dead and the Sons of Anarchy prequel comic, I haven't bought comic books as such. I've bought the graphic novels, and I preferred it, to be honest. I can just sit there and read everything in one sitting, as I did with this. So I was a bit concerned that going in blind, not knowing who Clay and Weapon H were, that I wouldn't know what was going on in this book. Luckily, quite neatly, at the end of this book is a short sort of prelude, or I think it comes from a Weapon X comic. I'll let you know. Yeah, there's a Weapon X comic that describes where this character, Clay, has come from, aka Weapon H, from the Weapon X program. So you've got Amadeus Cho's Hulk, Domino, Warpath, Old Man Logan, Sabretooth. They're all involved in there as the Weapon X team now. So jumping on, I was a bit worried that I wouldn't understand, but it's quite straightforward, which is obviously easy for newer readers or readers that have dropped out for a while. But it explains enough that you're enticed to read some back issues, but it's as a self-contained story, it works. I had way more fun with this book than I should have. Obviously, Wolverine was introduced in The Incredible Hulk number 181, I believe, in 1962. God, I'm a geek. If I'm right, I'm a geek. And I'm looking at my notes, and yeah, I'm right. And obviously Wolverine's been a pop culture icon ever since. The Hulk's been a massive pop culture icon with TV series and movies and all the rest of it. So the Hulk versus Wolverine, it's always going to float my boat. I loved the original story. I wasn't alive in 1962, but I read it as a teenager in a book like this, sort of a magazine from Panini, I believe. So yeah, I read it later in life, but absolutely loved it. Obviously, Wolverine has grown since. So oddly, in this book, the three main characters that you see on the cover here, they're almost upstaged by the villain of the piece. He's a long time villain of the Hulk, or a nemesis of the Hulk. He's a character called the Leader, and if you know anything about the Hulk, you'll know who the Leader is. So Pack the writer here, he nails this villain, because we love to hate this villain, and it's quite easy to hate him in this book. He's conniving, he's sneaky, and the book is all the better for it. If it had just been a slugfest between two Hulks and Wolverine, it might not have been as good as it was if it hadn't been for the sort of the Leader and the Leader's story with Dr. Alba. So yeah, he sort of gets coupled up with her almost, and it's a lot of fun. So this book, or the art in this book, captures the absurdity and the insanity of this story amazingly, and it makes for quite an easy page turner. I read it all in one sitting last night. It's not the longest of books, but I loved it, to be honest. So there's 3 comic book issues in this book, and it gives you exactly what you would expect and exactly what you would want. You get the Nightmare banner that I've had to look up after I read this, because apparently the Hulk now can only come out at night. So you've got the Nightmare banner, you've got Wolverine, and you've got Weapon H. And the artwork is just incredible. I mean, this splash panel there of the Leader, it's just brilliant. So getting back to the story, obviously my expectations, I was expecting the 3 monsters to fight, and that's exactly what we get, and we get it numerous times. We get Banner Hulk and Weapon H having a confrontation, and then a cowboy hat wearing Wolverine fighting Weapon H, and then all 3 sort of having a showdown, and it's brilliant. It's quite violent, it's quite dark. The premise not only makes sense in this book, but the story's a bit deeper. It's not just a slugfest, and that's because of Clay, aka Weapon H. He isn't your typical Hulk. He's a Hulk with a family. He's got a wife and he's got 2 children. 2 small children, but this isn't a guy trying to hide his powers, hide who he is from his loved ones. His loved ones know exactly who he is, and they're proud of him. His kids think it's awesome. There are a few really funny scenes or panels where his children are almost arguing with Wolverine and Bruce Banner that their dad will kick their ass, to put it bluntly. So this guy isn't hiding out in secret. He isn't depressed. He isn't trying to get rid of the Hulk. He's not a rage-filled monster. He's an ex-soldier, so he's trained. He's tactical. He's got his wits about him, and he's still got his values even when he's hulked out. And if it wasn't for the Leader, then that could have gone a different way, or the Leader tries to push him more into a Bruce Banner Hulk sort of role. It doesn't quite work how he wants. So yeah, the family dynamic is brilliant. and it sets up the inevitable team up of these two Hulks and Wolverine, and they team up to stop Weapon H's or Clay's family being murdered. But the family element takes it out of the darkness. The comedy elements, there's not too many, but they're well placed, and they really do work, and it brightens what could have been a rather bleak, dark story. So I won't spoil the final battle and the outcome of the book for you, but please read it because it is absolutely bonkers. It's a must read. It's so bonkers, in fact, that good old Captain America has to stand back and just spectate, and it is that crazy. I can't go into why, but you'll see it for yourself. So if I have to give this book a mark out of 10, it's getting a 10 out of 10 from me. I was hooked from the first page to the last page, and it has made me want to delve further into the Weapon H backstory and the new Weapon X comics. If that's what this is spawned from, I want to read them. And that's the idea of a comic book, is to get you so involved that you go and chase down other issues and you want to follow the story. So this book really worked for me. It's action-packed, the stakes are high, and the comedic tones are balanced perfectly. If I had to put a negative comment in, and this is really searching for something to put in for the sake of it, maybe it was a little bit too short. Maybe they could have padded this story out a bit more and not done the sort of the prequel short story at the end, but I needed that coming into the comic new. So who cares anyway? There are Hulkverines now in the Marvel universe, and I can't wait to see where Marvel go with this next. So anyway, guys, there's my review of Hulkverines for Mass Movement magazine. This video will be up on Mass Movement for 48 hours before I release it onto my YouTube channel. It's part of the deal I made with Mass Movement. They give me this stuff for free. I review it for free. But they get the first dibs to put it up on their social network and their internet site, and then I get to put it up on my YouTube. So thanks for tuning in. If you've read this comic, guys, if you could comment down below, get a discussion going. If you want to read this book, go and get it. Like, subscribe, share, all that YouTube stuff that I've got to tell you to do, and I'll see you guys soon. Cheers for tuning in. Bye.